The topic for today is morning sickness. Oh, that terrible, terrible, terrible thing that many people get in that first trimester usually. And we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between morning sickness and a condition called hyperemesis, which is like morning sickness on steroids. It's just really, really terrible. So mostly the big difference is with hyperemesis, you need IV fluids. You are severely dehydrated. You can't keep anything down. It's not nausea once a day. It's not, nausea all day with vomiting once a day. It's vomiting multiple times in the day. The inability to keep anything down day after day after day after day. And it's quite dangerous. And we have had several women that do have hyperemesis. And a few of them, it's been so severe that they've needed a PICC line, which is like a little port that they put in so they can get IV fluids on a regular basis every single day for months on end. That's hyperemesis. We're going to talk about some remedies for morning sickness, which is still awful. And it can really just take the joy out of your pregnancy for many people. And especially if you have other little kids that you're trying to take care of and you have morning sickness, it's brutal. I'm going to talk about some suggestions. And those of you out there that have had this experience, please share your techniques for managing morning sickness, because you'll hear all different kinds of ideas. Sniff lemon, suck on a lemon, eat ginger, eat crackers, saltine crackers, ginger snaps, all kinds of different things. And some or all of these things will work for you. Some people will find some unique little trick that works for them. So all of your ideas are certainly welcome. So please participate in the conversation and share to help each other feel better. So morning sickness, we know that it's hormonally related. Those hormones of pregnancy just throw us off balance. We also believe that our blood sugars tend to be spiking and dropping in that first trimester. And most of the symptoms of morning sickness will resolve by 12 to 14 weeks into the pregnancy. Unfortunately, for some of our moms, we have one right now I think she's 36 weeks or 37 weeks, and she's just still nauseous all day long. And no matter what we do, there's nothing that's resolving it. So unfortunately, for some, it will last longer. But for the majority of people, it is gone by 12 to 14 weeks. It tends to be, so let's talk about the hormonal part of it. So not much we can do. We love those hormones of pregnancy. It means we have a healthy, strong pregnancy. It's a big indicator that we're unlikely to have a miscarriage. Caveat, not having morning sickness does not mean you will miscarry. I personally, thankfully, I was blessed in my pregnancies where I didn't have any morning sickness and I carried 2 healthy babies. So I don't want you to be fearful if you're not having morning sickness, you could still be pregnant. But having morning sickness is a big indicator that you have lots of hormones circulating and that we have a pretty good viable pregnancy in there. So that's the upside of the nausea. So as you're barfing, you can think, well, thank goodness I'm barfing. That means I have a healthy pregnancy, right? So hormones. So eating clean, which is really hard in the first trimester. So a lot of things compound the morning sickness because we don't feel good. We don't want to eat all the foods that we love. Things like you love to eat salads and you like fruit and you like green smoothies and you love all those things normally. But in your first trimester, you can't stand the look of it. You can't think about eating kale. You don't want any spinach. Any vegetable sounds disgusting, and all you want is mac and cheese, French fries, potato chips, corn chips, salty, carby, baked potatoes, things like that. Even some of our vegans and our vegetarians will have some cravings for animal products, which is really unusual for them, but it tends to be the fat that they want, the salt that they want. There is a link, we believe, between the hormones and them affecting your adrenaline, your adrenal glands. So that's where that salt comes in. We're wanting salt to support the adrenals. So some suggestions are eat whatever it is that you can tolerate. Don't worry about those first 12 weeks of your pregnancy in terms of your clean nutrition. It really matters what you're doing leading up to those 12 weeks, right? What are you doing before you get pregnant? Constitutionally, are you healthy? Have you been eating a clean diet? That's what's going to get you through those 12 weeks in the beginning of the pregnancy. And then once you start feeling better, then you clean your diet up again. And then you're ready to go back to your green smoothies and roasting your kale and doing all those, really being more mindful of the food you're eating. But in the first trimester, we tell pregnant people, just eat whatever it is that you can keep down. If that means you're eating French fries, maybe make your own French fries at home or have someone make them for you if the smells, you can't tolerate smells. But maybe make your own French fries. If you're going to eat French fries out, try to get them at a place where you know they're at least freshly prepared. Making good choices given the foods that you're leaning towards. So if you want macaroni and cheese, maybe you're not doing a junky Kraft macaroni and cheese, but maybe you're doing something more like Annie's organic Kraft macaroni and cheese, or making your own macaroni and cheese. If you want, what's some of the big things? Yeah, potato chips, French fries, mac and cheese, bagels. If you want bagels, get sprouted bagels, right? So the goal is eat the food you can tolerate, but try to make it a healthy choice of that type of food. So keeping food in your stomach at all times will help you with your morning sickness. We talk about always digesting all the time and keeping your blood sugar stable. Because what happens is we tend to not eat through the night because we're sleeping. And then the first thing when you wake up in the morning, your blood sugar is tanked. And if you don't eat immediately upon rising, your blood sugar will drop even more. And then you get behind the 8 ball and you can't get on top of that nausea. So we even say if you're getting up in the middle of the night to go pee, which many people are in their first trimester, the urge to urinate is pretty significant in the first trimester in the night. So if you're getting up in the night to go pee, maybe keep some nut butters by the side of your bed and just do a scoop of peanut butter or almond butter or some kind of nut butter. In that 5 minutes that you're awake, take a scoop of some kind of protein or eat a handful of nuts or take a bite of a protein bar. But always digesting so that if you wake up and when you wake up in a few hours after that, you also have something by your bedside table and you immediately eat before you get out of bed. And we tend to want you to go for those proteins, even though you may not feel like you want protein, but try to get a scoop of protein in, a bite of a piece of cheese, a scoop of nut butter, and then go to your carbs because the protein is going to give you longer lasting energy. And then those carbs, what they do is they spike your blood sugar so you feel better for a little bit, and then they crash your blood sugar, right? So you have more of a yo-yo effect because they're so quickly metabolized into a simple sugar. That's why if you're going with those carbs, you want whole grain or sprouted grains. But if you need that saltine cracker, because that's just what's doing it for you, maybe put a piece of peanut butter on it and get it down. So that's really helpful. So keeping food in your stomach at all times, always digesting, because once your stomach gets empty, those stomach acids really kick up, and now you can't keep anything down. Now you're starting to vomit and nothing is going to work. So eat small, frequent meals every 2 hours. It doesn't matter if you're hungry. It has nothing to do with being hungry. It has all to do with just keeping food in your stomach. So every 2 hours, you need a source of protein. Small little piece of protein, something all day long. That's what's really going to help you. The other thing is staying hydrated. So a lot of our moms will come in and say they can't drink water. They drink a glass of water and they throw up. Most water, most filtered water or bottled water tends to be acidic. So it's really hard to drink water and not barf. So we talk about drinking alkaline water, putting minerals in your water, or drinking hot water with lemon and honey in the morning. Now it's 115 degrees or something. I don't know, what was it on Saturday? I really think it was like 112 or something. So you're clearly not drinking hot water with lemon and honey unless you're in a freezing cold house with your air conditioning cranked. But what you could do is prepare it, right? Boil some water, put some honey in there, dissolve the honey in that hot water, squeeze some lemon in there, and then pour it over ice. But the lemon and honey seem to be really, it alkalines that water. The honey seems to make it easier to digest. It gives you a boost of blood sugar. and it's just way easier to tolerate. Lemon is also really good for your digestion. It helps in the morning get those bile acids working. It helps cleanse the liver. It's good for your gallbladder. It's just a really good way to start your day, and it's way easier than just drinking flat, straight, filtered water. So hot water with lemon and honey in the morning. You can pour it over ice. Herbal teas are safe. Chamomile tea is fine. Lemon balm. Any herbal teas are totally safe for you to be drinking in your first trimester. So sometimes adding a little bit of honey to an herbal tea. Rooibos tea is quite nutritious and good for you, plus it has some minerals in it. Those are really good ways to start your day. But prior to that, you're getting a piece of protein in there. And then you're doing some hot water with lemon and honey. And then sipping that throughout the day is really helpful. Hydration is really critical, especially if you are vomiting, you're going to get dehydrated. So you have to keep that hydration up. And ways to do it are even some fruit juices. We don't want you drinking a lot of juice in pregnancy in general, but if you can dilute fruit juice and it helps you keep the fluid down, that's what's really important. Gatorade, if you have to do it. Preferably, you can make your own electrolytes where you're not doing anything with like artificial colors and artificial sugars. But if you have to and it's keeping you hydrated, go for it. Drink Gatorade. Recharge is another choice. Smart Water is out there. There are some generic brands of just alkaline water with electrolytes. But again, hot water with lemon and honey. You can even do a pinch of Himalayan pink salt. That all will work for you. So you're eating every 2 hours, you're hydrating well, and you're still just dragging. You're totally fatigued, which is normal in the first trimester. Deep fatigue, like tired to your bones where you can't get out of bed. Normal. So plus then you have all this nausea, so you don't want to get outside, you don't want to exercise. And we will talk about exercise in another Midwife Monday about what is safe in pregnancy for exercise. But for the short term for today, keep doing whatever your normal exercise routine is, just keep doing it. There's no reason to stop your normal exercise routine unless you have some kind of condition that you've been told about. You have placenta previa. You're threatening a miscarriage for some reason. But if you have a normal healthy pregnancy and nobody's given you any restrictions, your normal exercise routine, even though in the morning you get up, you feel like you just can't get out there and exercise is going to help you feel better. Circulation, just getting your body moving is going to help you feel better. Just going for a walk, bringing your water with you, eating every 2 hours. Then you do all those things and you're still feeling super barfy. So what else can you do? So B6, a lot of people hear about B vitamins. Oh, the other thing is if you take your prenatal vitamin and you barf, stop taking your prenatal vitamin. It's way better that you can eat food than take a prenatal vitamin. Sometimes vitamins are going to just put you over the edge and make you feel icky. So stop taking them. If you can tolerate your vitamins, continue to take them. But if you can't, don't worry about it. You're not going to do any damage to the baby. Again, it matters constitutionally what you were doing right before you got pregnant. And then you're going to go back to taking your supplements once you're feeling better. But food is better than supplements. So eat whatever you can tolerate. You're eating, you're doing all that, you can't tolerate anything. Some suggestions are B6. 25 to 50 milligrams of B6 is safe to take in pregnancy. Generally, we say take it at night before bed. You can also take a product called Unisom Sleep Tabs. It has a component in it called diclegis, which is an over-the-counter drug that you can take, Unisom Sleep Tabs. And so sometimes you can get the Unisom Sleep Tabs that have diclegis in it with B6. If not, get the B6 separate. 25 to 50 milligrams is about what you'll need. And your Unisom, and you want to take those at night before bed. The Unisom is a sleep aid. So you don't generally want to take it in the morning because it will make you drowsy. So taking it at night, and it should work for 24 hours. So you take it at night before bed. It should do its work all through for the next 24 hours, and you take it again the next night. If you're finding that it's still making you drowsy, you could do a half a sleep tab at night, and then a half in the morning is fine to take as well. So you're going to go for your B6, your Unisom Sleep Tabs. If that's not working and you are still vomiting every day and you can't get a handle on it, then it would be prudent to go to your healthcare provider and say, look, I can't keep anything down. I've tried all of these things. I'm eating, I'm hydrating, it's still not working. Then you could get a prescription for diclegis. And that is the current recommended course of action for morning sickness and hyperemesis. Zofran used to be what was recommended. It is no longer the recommended choice of medication. Diclegis is the new recommended choice of pharmaceuticals. We do not prescribe Diclegis as licensed midwives in the state of California. We don't write prescriptions, but we do work with healthcare providers that can write that prescription for you. And that is, again, if the B6 and the Unisom are not working. Some other things, ginger. You could do ginger tea. You could do ginger capsules. You can do ginger chewable, those things. Not a capsule, but a tab or whatever. A pill. Candy. Not a candy. But, like vitamin C is a chewable. Like you can get a ginger like that. That's a chewable. Or you can also get some ginger candies. You can get ginger tea, and you can get, if you don't like the taste of ginger, you can take it in a capsule. D3, there's some research coming out that D3, vitamin D3 might help with some morning sickness. We recommend that all women in our care, we check everyone's vitamin D3 levels, and we put almost everybody across the board is on 5,000 units of vitamin D3 daily, because what we're seeing in Southern California is so far almost, I'd say 90% of our pregnant people are deficient in vitamin D3, which is really shocking given that we live with 365 days of sunshine out here. But many of our women are deficient, so we put them on 5,000 units of D3. There's some research saying that is helpful for morning sickness. B12 can also be helpful for morning sickness, but B6 is the big one. B12, you can get a supplement of methyl B vitamins, but sometimes with morning sickness, a B complex is too intense. The smell will put you over the edge. So you could do B6 alone. You could also do B12 alone. But B6 is the big one. That's the 25 to 50 milligrams that you could do daily for morning sickness. Hydration, eating all the time. Acupuncture. That is also very, very effective in supporting you in that first trimester for morning sickness. We have an acupuncturist that comes here to our birth center, but they're all over the country. There's evidence behind acupuncture care. Many health insurance plans will cover acupuncture, so it's worth it to seek out your local acupuncturist. They also make these C-bands, which many people are familiar with, and that works at an acupressure point on your wrist. So those are really helpful. Some women say they totally work. There's also a point on your ears, and an acupuncturist can tape these little seeds that just apply slight pressure to this acupressure point in your ear. That is really helpful for morning sickness. Essential oils. Essential oils are very, very effective for a number of things, and we do support the use of essential oils. We're not big supporters of ingesting the essential oils, but certainly diffusing them, applying them to your body. Lavender, ginger, peppermint or spearmint, lemon balm. Lemon verbena is very relaxing, but lemon balm also is helpful. Sweet orange is really helpful. You can make your own little combination of things, and you could do you could combine them all with 1 drop of each, or even up to 10 drops of each, depending on what size container you're putting them in. But lots of information out there on your essential oils. We do say don't ingest them. There's one exception to the rule. There is a product, doTERRA makes a product called Digest Zen. I don't know what the equivalent is with Young Living or traditional medicinals or some of these other essential oil companies. But what Digest Zen has it is ginger. Ginger is a big component of it, and a few other things. You can put 1 drop of that. You can put it in a capsule and ingest that, or you can put 1 drop in water. It's a little bit hot, so you probably don't want to get it on your lips, but our pregnant people do report that it does help them. You can even just apply it topically and rub it on your tummy. That seems to be helpful. You can diffuse it, like I said. You can put a little bit on a cotton ball and smell that throughout the day. That's really helpful. So essential oils can be a really big tool in your arsenal for morning sickness. Doesn't so much touch hyperemesis, but it's certainly not going to hurt. Pretty much with hyperemesis, you need pharmaceutical intervention and IV fluids. But for normal morning sickness, those are some tricks that we have. So eating all the time. Again, don't worry about weight gain. Don't worry about not being hungry. You're not necessarily going to be hungry. You're not going to gain 900 pounds in your pregnancy if you're eating a lot in your first trimester. Your normal in first trimester is to be really bloaty and just feel kind of fat and icky and soft, and your stomach is just loose and gurgly, and it's not the prettiest part of pregnancy. But you're going to get into that second trimester, and then your little baby bump is going to show up, and all that swelling and bloating is going to go away, and you're going to be able to resume all your normal healthy eating habits once you get past that first trimester. So that's what we have to say on morning sickness versus hyperemesis. And we just do hope that all of you out there that are suffering from this recognize that it is really, it's challenging, and it can be really emotional. You can feel slightly depressed because of it. You just don't feel good. You don't like being pregnant. You're going to get past it, and then it's going to be behind you, and you're going to feel better. So please join in on the conversation. Let us know what worked for you. What are some tricks? I'm sure I missed a ton of things out there that you guys are doing that are really helpful, and we love to hear from you. So also check us out on our Instagram, SCV Birth. Participate in conversation over there, and I hope you have a great week. See you next time.